The world's first ever live sperm race.
It got something like 500 million of views across all the socials.
It's always been associated with pornos and stuff like that. No one goes around and saying, oh my God, my sperm is so strong.
Wonder if the Bible actually says anything about raising sperm.
The healthier you are, the faster your sperm is.
What is your vision?
I'm trying to solve male infertility. If you have a baby, it's like all the girl's fault, all the fault of the egg, which is actually not true.
In 1973, the average sperm count was 101 million. 2018, it was 49 million.
Bro, your kids are only gonna go in two places, either the toilet or like the racetrack. Like I would rather my kids be in a racetrack. Ever since I was 2 years old, I always wanted to race sperm.
Is this just gonna be an entertainment company doing races, or are you gonna be going into... Okay, nice. So we're live and welcome back to Accelerate Bio. Buckle up. We're about to dive headfirst into the wild world of sperm racing. And yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. Our guest is Eric Zhu, the rogue 17-year-old disrupting tech, internet culture, and now, well, semen. So, hey, Eric, glad to have you here. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. Glad to be here. Yeah, I mean, disrupting semen. I think this is the first. I think this is the first time anyone has said it. So it's going to be interesting.
It definitely sounds super interesting. First of all, what I'm curious to hear is actually like who came up with this idea and how did it all happen?
Yeah, so I came up with this idea like last year. So I was with a bunch of health people. They were talking about sperm. And it was like kind of the first time where it's like it wasn't in a degenerate way, right? It was in a non-degenerate way. Like coming from high school, like everyone is talking about sperm. When I hear sperm, it's usually something crazy degenerate, like associated with like adult entertainment or something like that. But they were actually talking about it in like a biomarker or a health way, and I thought that was super interesting. And a couple months back, this billionaire he like flew me out to New York. He was like, oh, actually, I was like, okay, wouldn't we like kind of stick to like race sperm? And this billionaire he like flew me out a couple months ago. He was like, what's the craziest idea that you have that's not your current company? And I was like, on a race. Come. And then we talked about it for a little bit and then put a manifesto out and ended up going from there. So it's interesting.
Well, that's quite a story. Is that how you raised your seed round? You just pitched this to this billionaire and he invested?
Literally I put a manifesto out. Like after that, I was sick and I was like, you know what? I'm not really doing anything. I'm gonna think like I want to turn health into competition. Like sperm is an aggregate biomarker. So like the healthier you are, the faster your sperm is. You're essentially like same as every other sport, like swimming, for example. You're essentially competing against your biomarkers to perform better at like a sport, or similar to like boxing or like the UFC, stuff like that.
So you put out a manifesto, and what happened then? Then some investors reached out to you, and it became a real business.
Bunch of people, started sending around. I was like surprised at how many people sent around. I mean, they found like it was inherently like a viral idea, right? Like, and it was a cool concept, like returning health into competition. Like no one has really done that. So
it definitely does sound like a viral idea. And so I'm curious now to hear a bit more about like the reactions you received. I'm sure you received like a wide range of very different reactions. So what are like some of the craziest ones that you've received?
I mean, the reactions like, oh my God, I can't believe this is real, right? And then there was like kind of this bracket of people that are like, okay, this is like, there's like this weird, this is like, some people were like, okay, like we're religious, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, bro, your kids are only going to go in two places, either the toilet or like, assuming you're young, right? Like either the toilet or like the racetrack. Like I would rather my kids be in a racetrack. I don't know about like you, but like the racetrack sounds so much cooler. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting. Like I was surprised at how many like reactions it kind of got. Like, people thought it was insane, like insane that this is actually a thing.
I wonder if the Bible actually says anything about raising sperm.
I actually don't. Like if you like put it into perspective, right? Like literally it's like, like bro, if I was the number one swimmer, like I would love to like race. Also, I don't think the Bible says anything about sperm racing. But like like if I was like a swimmer, like I was like the number one sperm, bro, like I can't let that like potential be wasted. Like I would rather like be on this like racetrack and win, like that would be sick. That would be sick.
That makes sense to me. It's definitely a good brag that my sperm is the fastest in the world or fastest in town. Or
it's fast. A lot of people want to try it out. I was surprised. Like after they saw the first race, it was like, oh my God, like I think my swimmers are really, really fast. Like, bro, I got people coming up to me. It's like, oh, like I want to like race your sperm. I was like, yo, like that's so weird. But yeah, like a lot of people are like, oh my God, they're like, I think my sperm is faster than yours. So yeah, it's interesting.
Is this something that people ever test, like outside of this context? Like, is it part of like some fertility tests that people sometimes do when they're trying to conceive?
I think it's kind of interesting. It's a part of most sperm count is declining, right? I don't know if you've seen the statistic, which is true. It's like, sperm count has declined in the last 50 years. It's like halved. And also like infertility is like a big issue. 1 out of 6 people are fertile. You're kind of like actually essentially just like roulette. It's literally like like your chance of being fertile is really high. And 60% of the factors are things that you can control, right? Your diet, your sleep, so on and so forth. And people should be tracking this stuff. The reason why no one's tracking this stuff is because it's so taboo. Like, it's similar to like cigarettes like 50 years ago, right? Like everyone thought like cigarettes were normalized. Like they're like, oh, this is like healthy. And then suddenly like everyone's like, oh, this is not healthy. And people started talking about it. Before, like, you would be crazy to say cigarettes are bad. And then when people said cigarettes are bad, doctors said it, so on and so forth. It kind of changed the social paradigm, and people actually were like, this is actually really bad. Lung cancer rates like started declining. I think fertility is like very similar, where it's like, okay, no one's talking about it because it's weird, right? Like no one goes around and saying, oh my God, like, my sperm is so strong. I'm gonna test out my sperm. Like it's weird. It's weird, but it's a big, and because of that, it's like a massive problem, right? Because no one's talking about it. No one's actually paying attention to the fertility health until it's like actually too late. Like so many people are having trouble making babies. And for fertility is like a big part of life, right? Just in general. So if we're able to change the social perception of like, sperm being like a degenerate thing and a biomarker, I think, things would be, the world would be a very, very different place.
I like how you draw the parallel with cigarettes here. And I have seen the quote actually on their website. It's very interesting when you put numbers on it. It says that in 1973, the average sperm count was 101 million. I think that's per milliliter of semen. So that sounds like a lot of sperm. And it has declined. In 2018, it was 49 million. So that's half or less than half. So that sounds pretty crazy. And I mean, I think you touched upon it a little bit, but like, what do you think is causing this? Like, have you looked into the context here?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of contexts, right? As of like, well, okay, so there's two. I'm not like a natalist or anything. I'm not like, like these like weird like guys that are like, okay,
I
like,
wouldn't blame if you were.
Yeah, like I'm like, like I'm pretty happy with like the kids, not like hundreds of kids, right? I'm not like trying to repopulate the earth, but like, it goes on two things. I think there's misconceptions with a lot of like natalists, which is like the reason why birth rates are declining isn't because like people's like sperm is bad. It's because it deteriorates over time, right? As you're getting older, like people are getting more educated. I think it's like a big thing with education, where it's like, the more people are getting educated, the less kids they have, right? And also the cost of living is going up, right? But at the same time, I mean, it's like females are getting more jobs, right? So they're less going to be like stay-at-home moms, which, it's like more of a social thing. But I think sperm count is declining because all this stuff that you're doing is terrible for you. Like, the microplastics, right? The putting your computer, right? Like sitting all day. Like you're less active now than you were like, or majority of people are less active now. And people were less healthy now too. Like all the chemicals that you're putting in your body is absolutely terrible. Right. Like the healthcare system has gotten better. There's so many different things. And like you could kind of solve some issues, right? If you like start tracking early and actually work on your fertility health, like when you're really, really young. And you could be like less screwed when you're like 40 and like trying to conceive. But yeah, like that's like one of the biggest reasons that people are not healthy. But also I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that fertility, to have a baby, is like all the girl's fault, right? Or all the fault of the egg, which is actually not true. It's actually really like 50% of it's the girls, 50% of it's guys, and the majority of guys actually have really, really bad sperm. So that's definitely a pretty big problem, right? That like people should be aware of.
So what I hear you say is there is a lot of environmental lifestyle factors that are contributing to this. I think you're definitely right. And you're also saying people are also having, or men are having kids later on average, which just means that your sperm has declined further by that time, which makes sense.
Decline, like sperm declined, right? But also, if you have weak sperm and it declines, it's terrible. Like both ways, right? Where it's like, if you had stronger, like if you paid attention to your fertility, like really early on, which you should be, you won't be at the point where you're having a lot of problems. And then also at the same time, though, it's also like the food that you're eating and stuff like that too. It's terrible. It's terrible for you.
Now you're really making me question myself, because I'm actually 34. I'm getting married this year. I'm starting to think about having kids. I've never tested my sperm yet, so I'm now really thinking like, I hope it's good. I just don't know, but I hope it's good.
also it's interesting. Sperm's an aggregate biomarker, right? As I said before, which is like the healthier you are, the faster your sperm is. So like it kind of correlates to all different factors of your body, right? The earlier you sleep, the earlier you eat, the better you eat, right? So on and so forth. Like that dictates how like fast your sperm is. And yeah, I mean, you should probably get your swimmers tested.
Yeah, I'm very active in this biohackers quantify self circles. I'm one of the founders of.
Probably pretty strong.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say is exactly, you're right. We never discuss sperm. Like we discuss our sleep scores and maybe our testosterone sometimes, which I do test, which might be correlated. But sperm directly, I've never discussed it.
What's your testosterone score?
I've improved it quite a lot. The lowest it was about 500, and the highest was about 1200.
Shit, wait, how are you getting 1200?
It's not consistent. That's my peak, but I've
Were you eating red meat or something like all day, or?
I'm eating a lot of red meat. I'm not purely carnivore, but like for dinner, almost every day it's steak, and everything I eat is very clean, or like working out 3 times a week. Some supplements, like nothing crazy, no steroids, tonkadali, and yeah, a few other things.
The steroids, I mean, yeah. That's
No,
wild.
no. I said no steroids. I said just natural supplements like tonkadali.
Yeah.
No TRT, no steroids, nothing like that. Just lifestyle and natural supplements.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. I mean, the only time I took a testosterone test was like, we were like I was in a house with a lot of my friends, and you're like, you know what? The guy with the lowest testosterone has to clean the house for the month.
By the way, if you're enjoying this, please hit subscribe. We drop a new episode weekly, exploring how AI, biotech, and human enhancement are shaping the future. And if a friend would love this too, send it their way. It really helps us keep going. Now, back to the episode. Did you clean?
Well, okay, I think the nurse was betting against me, bro. Like, she was plotting it. Like, the minute I walked in the room, like, I knew something was off, bro. Like, she was making me lose. My testosterone was 250. 250.
Oh,
that was really bad. That was so bad. Bro, you're
too young for that. That's
low
for your age. You're too young for that. At your age, it should be very high.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but I'm getting too. Well, I think it's like 290 something. But it was really low. It was very clear that it wasn't even close. Like mine was like 290 something, and like theirs was like 500, like 700. Like it was terrible. It was so bad.
Well, anyways, most people don't even test testosterone, and even people like myself who do, like I still don't have any idea how it's correlated with my sperm quality. So I think you're onto something here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like most people don't, right? So yeah, I mean, that definitely get tested. Like getting tested is pretty good.
Okay. And moving on, so you have already like drawn a parallel with cigarettes and how like the change of awareness has caused this. I don't know if I would call it health revolution, but like definitely different aspect, different attitude to various aspects of our health. So when we're talking about sperm racing and the bigger picture context of what you're trying to achieve here, are you trying to also cause a bit of a revolution here? And like, what is your vision?
I'm trying to solve my own fertility. It sounds weird, but like, like I actually think sperm racing could be like a factor to solve my own fertility, right? Where it's like, you're if you're getting to the point where it's like everyone's like, this is the first time sperm has been mainstream. Like no one has ever talked about sperm in a mainstream way. Like I literally have YouTubers like that I watched as like a middle school and a high schooler talking about sperm. Like we had Tom Brady, which was like a football guy that a lot of kids watch, talking about sperm racing. Like that's insane, right? And so like you have like all these different people that like a lot of these kids, and sperm is like really weird. Like it's usually a really weird topic, right? Like it's always been associated with like and stuff like that. Like literally it's a blocked keyword. And you have all these different people talking about sperm that like, all these kids watch, and that's insane, right? Where it's like, it's crazy. And this is the first time that the public has ever heard about sperm. So like, I think we're definitely doing something right. I think the next race is going to be much bigger. And if we get more people, I think there could be something.
Pretty awesome. By the way, how did you get Tom Brady to pay attention to this?
He mentioned us on podcasts. We had like a lot of like influencers I watched as a kid. Like they're talking about it. It's like these audience are like elementary schoolers or middle schoolers and talking about sperm racing as like an infertility thing. Like this is crazy. Talking about sperm, like I didn't even know what sperm was.
It's awesome. And okay, so you mentioned the first sperm race. I think it happened in April. Was it April? And can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, it was in April. We put it down in 25 days. We had like two races. Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. It was like, we like we're like, hey, we're gonna pull this off, right? So that's kind of what we did. But a lot of people watched it. There's a lot of things I learned from it. Like, there's so many different things I learned from it. But yeah, it ended up working, and now we're going bigger and better sperm races.
I think just so I describe it a little bit in detail because I've watched it. So this was a live event in.
If you watch that, there's so
Well, I saw the recording. I didn't watch it live, but I understand it was a live event in like an event hall with like 1,000 people watching live, right?
I think okay. So in person, it was like they like. Okay, the reason why was like we got kicked out of last venue. Our last venue was like sort of 4,000 people, and we sold out like tickets like in a day. And this like new venue, basically we got kicked out of the venue like 4 days before the event, so we had to sell out like 1,000 tickets in like a day. And we actually sold out. And so there's the security only let 800 people in, because of fire hazard things or like the fire department, and it was like a shit show there. And then we had to like sneak people in and stuff like that to basically fill up with a lot of virgin nuts, right, so on and so forth. But yeah, I mean, we had like around like that. I mean, a lot of people watch online. I think like people watch online. It was like 100K people, 200K people that watched like online, and then afterwards, like all the clips and stuff like that. Next day, I woke up like morning of, like a video got 33 million views, like literally of this sperm race, and there was like a ton of other videos. I think like the whole thing probably got like I don't know 450 million views, something like that. But natural.
And this was all organic views, or did you sponsor some campaigns, or how did it happen?
I've only spent 10K on marketing, but like honestly, it just wasn't like like literally most of it's organic. Not only that, like next race is gonna be so much bigger. Like we have a lot of like how viral this race went. To like imagine the next race like 1,000 times like this one.
I think previously you said it got something like 500 million of views across all the socials on your 10K marketing budget, which sounds awesome. That's like incredible. Like how did you achieve it? Is it just because the idea is viral, or like what are your growth hacks here?
It was actually very pragmatic in how we did it. So for context, I started a business in the high school bathroom a couple of years back, and it was very similar in how to like, even though there was like, it's like you need crazy shit, and then you basically have to distribute it in the right way. Like it was the same reason. Like okay, so like couple of years back, right? I started my first business in the high school bathroom. I was taking calls there and stuff like that. Ended up buying hall pass from dealers. Like the principal got mad at me, banned me from using the restroom. Like that was so good content, and I mean it was terrible back then. Like I hated, like I couldn't piss during class. It was so bad. Like I had to like hold it in. Like it was like for me to use the restroom, my teacher had to call the principal, and the principal sent school security to ask for me down because like I bought a green screen in the bathroom, and it was like that was like a lot of crazy stuff happening. And then you basically turn it into content, right? And then using that content to kind of A/B test a lot of different headlines and stuff like that, and then make it go viral and distribute it. So that's like kind of like this viral machine that we kind of like built or like use. If that makes sense.
So just to backtrack there a little bit for listeners who might not be familiar with the whole story, you were in high school bathroom taking calls with, I think it was like venture capitalists trying to raise money for a business, and you were like 13 or 14 at the time. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was like 12, 13 a while back then.
That's crazy. And that just went like viral on Twitter at that time.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was an interesting time back then. It was very different.
And that was just to kind of poke on this a little bit. That was all like what actually happened with you taking calls in the toilets. That was not staged. That was not like a publicity stunt.
It wasn't. It was actually like shit that happened. That like it was even worse. Like it was a lot worse than like the stuff I posted. Like literally, I was spending 5 to 6 hours a day in the bathroom. I was like buying a whole pass. Like literally, in order. Did you go to school in the U.S. or?
No, outside US, in Europe.
In the U.S., there's something called all passes, where it's like if you want to get out of class to use the restroom, you got to get a pass from the teacher, and then the teacher will have to let you go to the bathroom, right, and stuff like that. So I would basically buy a hall because like I was spending like I convinced my counselor like prostate issues, like I had the urinary issues. I could use the restroom whenever. So I had these like pink pass that would go everywhere. And then teachers got a little bit skeptical because I was like literally prostate issues for like way too long. So like I would alternate between that hall pass or like that like prostate, like or not prostate, but it was like this red pink pass to get out of class whenever to go to the bathroom. And with like I was spending 5 to 6 hours a day in the bathroom, right? And like the people in US bathrooms that most people know is like literally there's no better place to do like I've seen like all different types of bathroom. I went to school like 5,000 people, so you like had some crazy assortments of illicit substances there. Like they were like hotboxing. Like there was one time they hotboxed in my stall. Like I would be taking calls, I would be working, I would be doing sales calls. So I wasn't just investors. They hotboxed in my stall. It was weird too. Like I was so high when I went to class. Like that was like the shit that happened. And then I would buy a hall pass from them to get out of class, and I'll alternate between these two. And then back then, I also, I was also doing a lot of stuff with like, we're talking with senators, investors. There's one time there's this guy who's like, hey, I don't feel comfortable meeting a minor in the high school bathroom. So I bought a green screen in the bathroom, and principal walked in, found out about the green screen, and then on top of that, found out that like I was buying hall passes from. I ended up getting kicked out of the bathroom. So like for me to use the restroom, that stuff happened, which like they sent school security to escort me down. And then, I mean, it was great tweets. Like, there was one time he would give me like detention for like a couple of weeks. And during the detention, I tweeted, I was like, oh, they're punishing me for giving me like a better spot to take meetings or like to do work. Because the detention room was like so nice. And then, the principal put me in like weekend detention and stuff like that. And then, we kind of turned all of that into content. So it was a victim of circumstance. Like I would have rather not take in the bathroom meetings, but like, it is what it is. And also ended up doing pretty well.
It is what it is. And you made the best out of it. You've turned these little moments into some pretty viral content. Actually, I would say you have definitely turned it into a really strong personal brand on social media that people recognize now, at least people in tech circles. Do you think this personal brand has been like really helpful for you in your next ventures and Sperm Racing as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of, but like honestly, it's like the product speaks more, right? Like you want to build your brand around your product. Like, I don't really care about being famous. I just want to build really cool shit, right? And I think at the end of the day, it's like, I don't really like care about like. I think it's like you don't like. I think personal brand, yeah, it's like good, but it's not like the pinnacle of like what you want to do. Like, I just want to build a lot of cool things. I think. Like Sperm Racing's a crazy idea. It's like something crazy, very different than enterprise software. I want to make it happen. Right? I want to make it bigger and bigger, and go from there.
It's definitely less boring than enterprise SaaS, and I think you're right. The idea speaks for itself. But I still guess if other people posted this, if like I posted this with 10x lower following than yours, it would have probably not gotten as much exposure as you did.
I mean, honestly, it's like I would rather like I don't. Like exposure is nice. Virality is engineered, right? It's like I would rather have Sperm Racing have millions of followers than me having millions of followers, because I would rather have like a product that I build that's fucking crazy than like me that has a lot of followers and stuff like that, right? But yeah, like I don't know, like I think exposure is nice. Like you could be like the head of the marketing, right? Like if it's like it's not my like main goal. Like yeah, like that could be like a thing where it's like hey, like eventually you get followers from that. But like honestly, I just want to build stuff and then.
So what would be your advice for people or founders who want to get their product seen on social media? Is it just what you said, like let the product speak for itself, or what would be your advice?
Like build cool shit. Like controversy sells. Like controversy gets a lot of attention. But yeah, just cool. There's anything to go viral. It's like either something controversial, funny, or out of context, right? Combine these all together, make a really good story. It depends also what kind of product. If you're building enterprise software, you don't need distribution. You probably never heard about most of the companies that are like, there's so many CRM companies that you probably don't know what they do, but they have so much money, right? It's like, it like really depends on what kind of business you're building. If you're only Sperm Racing, like, fuck yeah, you want everyone to learn about it. So like you post about it and stuff like that would go viral. Or like you're building consumer product, very, very different, right? So it just really depends on what your goals are and what gets you there. Because most of the times you don't need massive social media following to actually get to where you want.
Sounds like good advice. And talking about enterprise software, I think your previous startup before Sperm Racing actually was enterprise software, right? And are you still working on that?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing pretty well. Like we scaled it up to a couple $1 million in revenue. We if you're in venture or in sales or recruiting, probably use our data before. We power a lot of like really big platforms. Using our data set.
Well, Sperm Racing definitely sounds more fun. Like not to diminish the other project, but Sperm Racing sounds more fun.
Ever since I was 2 years old, I always wanted to race sperm. Like that's been a lifelong vision to really relive it. I mean, everyone has been a sperm, So I mean, I don't know if you remember, when you were the #1 sperm.
I don't recall it clearly, but
you don't remember that? I'm not to brag or anything, but I mean, I was one of the #1 sperms. Right?
You were the #1 sperm, not just one of the #1.
Yeah. Can we believe that? I mean, we both won the sperm race. That must have been something we're doing right.
we all already won at least one sperm race in our lives.
Yeah, exactly. No, this is like the second. Yeah, that's actually not a bad line. Like, I mean, you won like once. Now it's like, no, that's actually a good line. I didn't know about that.
Feel free to use it. It has credited me. And I'm actually also sensing a theme here. What you said about taking calls in a bathroom and saying you have prostate issues and now building sperm racing, like it all seems to be circling back to the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm a big prostate activist too, right? You know, a lot of people are having prostate issues. I think piss racing could be a. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to do piss racing. Okay, that's actually not a bad idea if you think about it. Like, imagine if like people were like, you know, like the stream of your piss is actually like, you know, like the PSI of your piss, and then the angles and stuff like that actually help the prostate health. It's actually not a bad. I mean, if you want to do that.
Everybody keeps talking about pissing contests. I don't think they mean it literally, but if you wanted to do a real one,
Bro, it's not a bad idea. Yeah.
But go for it, man. But just to get back to sperm racing for a second. So we were talking a little bit about the event itself, and I just want to elaborate. So you staged this huge event with 800 people watching live, hundreds of thousands of people watching online. And like the best way I can describe it, I guess, is there was this microscopic racetrack with sperm live in it. Like, can you describe the racetrack and like how it all worked?
Yeah, so basically how it works is this. You have this microfluidic device. Oh, okay. So we have like a process of like cleaning the sperm, diluting the sperm, right, so on and so forth. We put on 200x dilution, which gets it to like very, very low, like around 100 to 100. And then once we get the sperm, we would basically put it in this microfluidic, right, where we have something called rayleigh taxes, which basically, you know, sperm swims through the current. So you basically create a current, and the sperm swims through. And when the sperm swims through, you know, the currents, they get to the finish line, and then we track it onto like a 3D object using like Unreal Engine, and it would basically plot the coordinates in real time, simulating a sperm race. I mean, sperm isn't entertaining to watch. I don't know if you've seen like your own comedy. Actually, no, that sounds weird. Never mind. I don't know if you've seen like
not on that kind of resolution.
Yeah,
not in the detail.
Eyeball it nowadays, you know, with the X-ray vision. Yeah, no, but yeah, like and that's kind of how it works. I mean, sperm isn't really appealing, so like we basically like you know, put it onto like a 3D object, and then they race and stuff like that. It's been pretty fun. Did
you have to invent like some technology in order to make this happen, or does this like thing exist already?
No one has ever tried making sperm race no one has ever tried to do this. Like we're the only ones retarded enough to do this. So yeah,
you're the real pioneers. And so okay, you had the sperm race. There was a winner. Did they get a prize? Like what was the prize actually?
The prize was like 10 grand. But like future races and stuff. I mean, it also sucks. It also sucks to like. It also sucks to lose a sperm race. Like, bro, I felt so bad when I lost my sperm race against my co-founders. Like, it's like literally a sport. It's like, bro, I feel so bad for losing. It's like the same way as like boxing too. Like, if I was boxing with my friends, like, you know, I feel terrible.
It's pretty embarrassing. It's something I probably wouldn't put on my dating app profile.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're winning, you would, right? I mean, you know,
if I won, I probably would.
Yeah, like
that will become your new bio. Sperm race winner, sperm race champion.
Yeah, ultimately, like sperm race. I mean, technically, we won once, right? So, like, you know, everyone's only won once. But yeah.
Okay, so we discussed the first ever sperm race that happened, and you've already hinted that there's gonna be a next one, and it's gonna be bigger, and it's gonna be better. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
We have some massive celebrities. You're gonna know when we it's gonna be like 5 to 6 months from now. I feel like this is like a Squid Game season 2, but like, you know, like. You're gonna like see us like in a couple months, and there's gonna be massive celebrities that's gonna be on. So it's gonna be interesting. This first one was like a proof of concept. This next one's gonna be crazy.
Well, I will stay tuned, and I can't wait. Can people sign up to compete if they're interested? How does this work?
We might do test kits soon. Yeah. That's like one of the things we're launching. It's like, okay, you know what? We might get like a couple people to race these other guys. So, you know, we're gonna see how fertile you guys are, which is gonna be interesting.
So, okay, if anybody wants to sign up, I guess DM Eric on.
Yeah, Sperm Racing, I think /tryouts. It hasn't came out yet, but once it can come out, you're probably going to see it too. So it's going to be interesting.
Cool. And just to fast forward, like your super long-term vision. So is this just gonna be an entertainment company doing races, or like you hinted at like solving all of male fertility? So are you gonna be going into treatments and like other related areas?
I want to solve no fertility. I also want to build Olympics first, bro. Olympics. Like I think this could be an Olympics. Like think about this. Like the part like the triathlon. You know, like you're like swimming and then you're running and then you're racing your sperm. Actually, no. What's the other part? You're cycling. It's like you're running. Wait, no. You're swimming. You're cycling. You're running, and then you're racing your sperm. Like that's the vision. That's the vision. I want to see the Olympics. I want to see the Olympics. I want to see this in the Olympics. But also,
there should be professional. There should be professional sperm athletes in
yeah,
the
bro.
Olympics.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I can't believe they haven't thought about that yet, bro. Like that, I could see this as a triathlon sport. I mean, you know, that would be crazy.
By the way, have you heard about the enhanced games? We had them on podcast the other week.
I actually heard about one of our big investors, actually a big investor in enhanced games.
It sounds like there could be some maybe pretty cool collaboration between you two, like enhanced athletes on performance enhancing racing their sperm. That could be like super.
Yeah. I mean, we were really against doping on the first one. You know, we had to like do inspections, and stuff like that, make sure no one's cheating on the sperm race. But like, I mean, yeah, like I think that would be kind of interesting. Like, bro, like what kind of steroids are they going to use to like make their sperm swim faster? That'd be kind of crazy. That would actually be researched. So, like, someone figured out how to like make their sperm swim faster without like affecting the sperm quality. That would be interesting. One of my co-founders talked to the performance enhanced games like last week. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting.
You could have a few different categories. You could have like the natural sperm, the enhanced sperm, and like I would love to see how much you can actually enhance your sperm by steroids or some other compounds.
Yeah, horse trank, like just like doping on your sperm. Like that.
Horse
Bro, yeah, what in the world are we living in if like we're able to like dope like doping on the sperm race? Like that's 2025, that would be crazy. Bro, that's insane.
That would be an amazing commentary on like the state of our civilization in 2025.
Yeah, bro. Like us in the history books, like there's a sperm race. Bro. Like this is the decline of civilization. This is like the uprise of civilization, bro. Like if people are doping on like a sperm race, like that's insane. Yeah, no, I would love this to be in the history books. But yeah, I would love this to be in the history books. Like sperm racing. Doesn't have to be in the history books, bro. By like 2030, 2040, bro, like are other civilizations coming down to Earth, like they're going to be racing their sperm every day. Like that's what we want to see.
You like talking about the history books. You're definitely tapping into the zeitgeist here when we have Elon Musk talking about repopulating the planet. We have got Brian Johnson talking about don't die and like all aspects of male health and longevity and biomarkers.
Talking about his PB a lot.
Is it partly inspired by that, or is it the same kind of philosophy, or like is it very different?
It's too extreme, right? Where it's like you have like extreme spectrums of biohacking and biomarkers and stuff like that. One, like I think people should pay attention to fertility. I think it's a big problem, right? I don't think you should go in that far. Like, okay, yeah, everyone needs thousands of babies, right, and stuff like that. That's like way too far. I think what kind of makes the most sense is like literally. I mean, yeah, it's not inspired by them, but it's like. Initially started as a joke, and the more I look at it, it's like, fuck, like this is a big problem that you could solve, right? So,
and you're building your own sperm racing cult,
bro. I'm trying to go sub 2 minutes and 30 seconds, like by the end of summer. Like I've been training, like you don't understand, bro. Like I have a personal trainer, and like he's been making me like do the reps at the gym. Like he's been making me like optimize like my sperm health and stuff like that. I'm trying to like by end of summer, bro. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm a professional sperm racer. I've been trying to be a professional sperm racer.
I'm very curious now. Like, what does your personal training involve other than the gym?
Eating right, supplements. That's hard. Like, I don't know how anyone does that. I have like a swallowing problem, but like going to the gym. I guess eating healthy. Eating is a big part. That is a big part. Also, like sleep too. Like I really like sleep's a big part. I gotta get sleep. So, I mean, you've been doing a lot of biohacking too, right? So, like, you probably have like some like weird stuff in your house to like. Like make you sleep better, make you like shit faster or some shit like that.
I do have some devices. I have got this like visual LED stimulation device to your closed eyes. It basically relaxes your brain. I've got that.
Yeah, that's how you know you're a professional. Like you have like the LED like light stuff. The first time I met Brian Johnson, I was like, that's a good joke. I was like, yo, like how can I get like a Botox penis if I'm under 18? Like, you talked about this contraption called Atom, which is like this thing where checks your nighttime erections. I'm like, what the fuck is that? But I mean, it's interesting. There's so many different things you could actually like optimize for. So many different tools, so many different weird contraptions.
Yeah, I do have a bunch of fun contraptions. I do have some peptides in my fridge as well, which I inject sometimes.
Yeah, you're going like that. You're like doping on like peptides and stuff. That's crazy.
Well, I'm not competing in any professional league, so at least I can't be accused of doping. But yes, I am enhancing, that's for sure.
You're enhancing. How long are you trying to live to?
How long I'm trying to live up to?
Yeah.
Ideally forever. I mean, I don't have any wish to die.
Oh yeah, that no one has a wish to die. Yeah, that's true. Damn. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when do you think Brian Johnson's gonna die?
The funniest outcome would be if something goes terribly wrong and he dies very young. I'm not rooting for it, but there is a non-zero chance of that. And otherwise, if not, I mean, I hope it works out for him, because if it does, then it's gonna set the stage for everybody else.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Yeah, like when yeah, that would be crazy. That would be crazy if like something happens. But yeah, wow. Sad.
But if we, sorry.
He's like 40, right? So like once he dies, it's like probably like, I don't know. He's probably gonna live more than 100. Like that's 60 years from now. So like, oh wait, no, how old is Brian Johnson?
I think he's in his 40s, maybe like 45.
45. Yeah, wow. Damn. I mean,
that must seem pretty old to you.
Yeah, like when he reaches like 100, right? Like that he's probably lived till like 100 or something like that. That's a long time. Like I'm 17 now. I'm almost 18. If I'm 17 now and I have like so he's 40, like 60 years, give or take. It'd be like 77. Yeah. No. Am I doing the math right? Yeah, I'm doing the math right. 77, 78, 77. That's wow. Why should be that old? No, 67. 67. That's it.
Yeah.
67. I'm 67 years. That'd be a very long time from now.
Well, what I'm also thinking about now is if we do live well into our hundreds or beyond, we will probably like have a very strong incentive to increase our fertility window as well. Like if we are having kids in our 30s and 40s now, we will probably want to have kids in our 60s, 70s, and beyond. So that's something we need to solve.
I mean, if I'm living with thousands of years, like I would, that kind of makes sense to have like 100 kids. Like, you have like your own village. You see like multiple generations. You're like, controlling an army of like your kids. Like that'd be crazy. That'd be actually. I don't understand why people are trying to have a lot of kids. It's like, bro, like think about like a bunch of like mini like versions. Like yeah.
I feel like culture is a lot against kids these days for different reasons. And based on what you said, maybe it's actually a fun thought experiment. Like we might go back to this like primeval scenario of people living in clans, and your clan is like a lot of your descendants. They're all related, and like you said, is your private army, and that'll be a fun scenario.
That's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. Yeah. I mean, not thinking about it. Yeah, like having that many kids, like that would be that's insane. That's crazy. Yeah. Wow.
Actually, on that note, like talking about futurism, like do you ever think about it, or like what's gonna happen a long time ahead from now? Like, are you like tech accelerationist? Like, what's your whole like philosophical take on this?
Literally, like the world has finite amount of resources, and you're trying to figure out how to delegate the resources well. But it's like, could this be like an intersection point? And this is like a theoretical thing, and I think there's like some studies about it. I'm just not smart enough to like do the math part, but like. Is there like this intersection between like this like thing? Okay, can you like accelerate technology by sacrificing everything else to the point where like the world has like infinite amount of resources, or not an infinite amount? There's always gonna be unless like AGI happens and solves all our problems, right, stuff like that, and like figures out okay, this is how you like travel between rockets and stuff like that, and have like crazy compute. But like for like right now, it's just like it's literally just like can this like inflection point happen, right? With this intersection between like if you're able to create an infinite amount of resources, like I'm all for that. It's just like, are we able to kind of draw into that window before we use up all our resources? It's like either like you want to live longer on Earth, or you want to live longer like a more or like something above, or even like other like galaxies.
I think talking about AGI, at least in my view, if we do reach this singularity or whatever you call it, and AI really becomes like ubiquitous and paramount, I think what it's probably going to mean, it's going to put even more value on things that are really, truly uniquely human, and something like sperm racing, like human athletic peak performance that cannot be simulated by AI, like that might actually increase in value quite a lot compared to now.
AGI has like the same thought process as humans. Like they're probably going to think about another like way to like reproduce. There's got to be a way other than like, you know, waiting like 9 months for like a baby to come out. So it could be like a different world. There's also like this doomsday scenario, which I don't know enough about, right? So I've like read some sci-fi books about it. It's like I don't know that much about it. But I mean, it's crazy. It's kind of crazy to be like in this like inflection point in technology right now, where I mean, you know, AI has. Well, I mean, it sounds cliche. Like now everyone knows about AI, but like everyone's like kind of, you know, there's so much attention on it right now, right? Which is kind of interesting. Right? It's a fun time to be alive. And back then, I was like the only guy to like do my essays, and now like everyone's doing that.
Do you feel like when you're pitching sperm racing and when you're trying to raise money for this business, do you feel the pressure to kind of pretend that there is some AI aspect to it in order to get attention and be able to raise?
I was trying to raise money. I was actually turning down money because I didn't know how to make this in a business. Yeah, like people just gave us money, so I wasn't even trying to make money. And like bullshit like to them, like, oh my god, we're trying to make sperm race. I mean, we technically use AI, but like I don't pitch it like, okay, we're like trying to use AI to like, you know, make sperm race. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't really try to raise money. Like people just gave us money.
Fair enough, and sounds like you're in a really good position. So well done on that. And before we wrap up, is there anything else you would like to share about sperm racing or any other teasers about what's coming up?
More people are going to hear about sperm racing. I'm excited. I'm excited for more of the world to know about sperm racing. So other people think it's going to be really weird or really cool. I hope it's going to be on the cool side. Wait, I guess why? Okay, give me 2 minutes. No, leave it. Okay, give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute.
Oh, do you have to go?
Yeah, actually, I got to head out. All right. It was so good to see you.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, thanks for coming. See you, man.